And we are back, motherfuckers. Episode 26.
How come in the first take you didn't insult anybody?
Because it wasn't natural. I gotta be myself. That's why we had to redo whole one, because it sounded weird, because I was too nice, right?
Second take, episode 26. Today, we are talking about dreams. We had multiple dreams. Nick?
Not Martin Luther King style, just like crazy dreams.
No, like
It had
nightmares.
Nothing significant.
I was on a boat.
You're on a boat?
Yeah.
I don't even remember what your dream was.
No spoilers, we'll get to it. I also give my full review of the first 30 hours of Red Dead Redemption 2. I'm sure you guys have heard about the game. It's one of the biggest games right now by Rockstar Games. That was the word games 3 times in a row there.
Shout out to games.
Hope you guys appreciate it.
I also talked about little personal stuff on my end. One of my yearly goals has been achieved, so I wanted to give myself a proper pat on the back.
Of course. In typical Nick Martwinski style.
Humble brags, that's how it goes.
In full effect.
I also talked about Derrick Rose and all things NBA.
Not all things, but a few things.
Most things that are important.
I also gave a little bit of insight into the Chicago Bears because they are winning football games and it makes me so happy. And
Lions got smoked by the Vikings.
Who did?
Lions.
Yeah, they did. They're bad.
That's what happens when Trey Golden Tate, their best player, right, Dalton?
Something.
Told you he was the best player. You just didn't even fucking listen to me. Nothing to say?
No, they're just not good. I have no excuse.
We also talked about UFC 232, I believe, the press conference 232.
For John Jones and Goose.
Yes. I don't know if that's 232 or 231.
It is 232.
What's 231? Holloway Ortega. Duh. Forgot about that.
Duh.
Holloway's gonna whoop that ass.
We'll see.
Tune in. Loyalty? Alright. An alien Jedi. I picked the alien Jedi. And I woke up and I told my girlfriend and I said, I do not regret my decision.
And we're back. And we back.
Oh my god.
Welcome back, everybody. So, in case you guys missed the MMA special that we did, is it technically a special? I feel
Nope, episode 25. We just had this conversation.
I feel it should be a special.
It's an episode.
Okay, so we had a previous hour-long episode that was a freebie. Not like you're paying for these or anything, but
I was gonna say, is there a subscription service that I don't know about?
some surprise charges are gonna be coming on your card.
You owe me
Don't worry.
some fucking royalties, don't.
That's true. This is gonna be, I guess, just a normal episode as well. Then,
episode 26 is gonna be coming out Monday.
That's
so today. Yes.
So,
no, it's not. Today is Friday, the day before UFC 230.
But from the listener's perspective, that's today. So
I'm just trying to let everybody know what's going on in real life, and you're trying to
they don't need to know.
You're trying to just act
you
do shit the same
You are
day. So not true.
You're the man behind the curtain, but for some reason you're peeking your head out like an idiot.
I'm Wizard of Oz.
Okay, but he stayed behind it.
No, he didn't. He got caught.
Okay, but that was...
Look what happens if you stay behind the current for too long.
That was just the plot of the movie. It has nothing to do with what would actually happen or ethics.
I don't even remember. I can't even argue that shit.
Exactly.
I'm about to act like I'm some Wizard of Oz expert. I haven't seen that movie since I was a little fucking kid.
Seriously.
I hated that movie.
It is creepy. Creepy fucking movie.
It was boring as fuck in the beginning.
Okay, well I was creeped out.
And then the witch came and she was a little creepy. But
there you go.
That movie was not that fucking bad for me because my grandma, she probably did some shit that was probably unethical with me.
Okay.
She made me watch. She didn't make me, I guess, but she's like, "Hey, Nick, come sit down and watch this." I'm like, "Okay, grandma," because I was a little grandma's boy. I was super spoiled by my grandma, but I watched it when I was 3 years old.
Okay.
So
you remember that?
Compare it to Wizard of Oz.
How do you remember that?
Because I watched way more than just it. I watched all the scary movies. Why do you think I've had? Remember I told you I have nightmares all the time about Michael Myers haunting my ass.
Sure.
When I was a kid.
Yeah.
It's because of my grandma. It's 1,000% because of my grandma.
Damn.
Yeah, so Wizard of Oz didn't mean shit. But, fun fact, since I stopped smoking, which has been well over a month now.
Humble brags.
Congrats to
Humble
Nick.
brags.
Ooh,
Humble
that
brags.
Fucking self-discipline.
Alert. Humble brags.
Anyways, don't fucking alert me, man. You ain't a fucking announcement, okay? You ain't that annoying ass Sunday.
It's Saturday.
This is a test.
Idiot.
It's Sunday.
It's Saturday. It's the first Saturday. Idiot.
Whatever.
Idiot.
You may be right. Anyways, since I stopped smoking, I've been having the craziest dreams.
True, I have always heard that smoking makes you forget your dreams, so
Yeah,
people realize that they have them a lot more.
I think it like suppresses them somehow. Like obviously you still have dreams. You have thousands of dreams every night.
For
like,
sure.
At night you have your own little DMT trip every night.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, pretty
Technically?
much.
Like, is that what's happening in your
I
brain?
mean, it's bro science the way I'm explaining it, but
Yeah.
it's straight up facts.
Okay, just trust him.
But I had like I had two really intense dreams that I can remember that fucked me up. One of them was, I think it was like 3 weeks ago. It was the day before my cousin's wedding.
How do you remember this shit, but you can't remember, like, Game of Thrones characters' names?
I remember important
like, the
shit.
main
Dalton.
characters' names.
Important
You couldn't
shit.
remember the Stark sisters' names.
I couldn't remember Tyrion. That's
and
the worst.
Tyrion. What the fuck? Okay, go
And
on.
I think, was I high then though?
No.
Are you sure?
No.
I think I was high.
I don't think
I'm
so.
almost positive I was
You
high.
just want to use it as an
Anyways.
excuse. 3 weeks ago?
Yeah, the day before my cousin's wedding, it was storming like a motherfucker. Do you remember that?
Probably.
Like, I woke up and you walked right to your bathroom and I said something to you and you straight up ignored me. So I wasn't sure if you were sleepwalking or if you were just like pissed at me.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, either way, fuck that guy.
Thanks, buddy.
But because of the storm, I had a dream that I was driving near the airport with my girlfriend. And we see these tornadoes, like, you know how like in the movie Twister, you could see them like in the distance, but you're not like worried about it because they're like far away.
No.
And like they're going a different direction.
What?
So as long as you're paying attention, it doesn't change directions. You're cool. So we were going, and like Sam was like tripping, like she's like, "You need to get away. We need to drive away." I'm like, "It's fine. We're fine. We're driving away from it." And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, the fucking tornado was like right on top of us.
You should have listened to Sam.
Right on top of us, and it was like a F5, like a huge
goodness.
mile-long tornado, like
Yeah.
just like in Twister. I'm pretty sure my dream was like half Twister, half like storm, and then half like real life shit. But we like drive right into the tornado. There's nothing I can do, and I'm slamming on my brakes, but the tornado was just starting to pick up the car, and it got like super loud, and it felt so weird. Like I could hear shit banging around the car. And then all of a sudden we're like in the air, and I'm like holding Sam's hand. I'm like, it's fine. We're gonna be fine. She's screaming, and all of a sudden we just like fucking fly. And then like I woke up, and my fucking chest was racing.
Were you sweating?
Yeah, it was.
That's
it was
always the
rough.
worst.
I've had 2 tornado dreams
Fuck off.
that have been like, you know how you tell me tornado is one of your biggest fears.
Top 4 fear, man.
Yeah, but it's not one of my fears in real life. But when I have a
Apparently.
dream, like I feel like I've gone through the shit. So it's like
It's an
terrifying.
experience for you.
The other time was I was at my Aunt Joyce's house and I fell asleep there. Shout out to my Aunt Joyce. I'm sure she's gonna love that I said her name.
Yeah, you love name dropping people.
And there was a tornado there, and it was, long story short, it ripped the roof off the house. And I had my youngest sister, you know, the devil one. I was holding her with like my death grip, and I was also holding on to some metal pipe that was just magically there in the house. And I'm holding on as hard as I can, but it wasn't good enough, and she's like slips out of my hand. And I hear her
It
voice.
looked, based on your movements there, it looked like you
Just
let her go.
and survival of the fittest.
Whatever.
No, but like when she flew out of my hand, I could hear her scream, and the scream just like went away.
Dude,
like, you could hear it like
That's literally
like,
from Twister.
like you could hear it like fading away,
Yeah.
and I just see my sister gone. Yeah, and I woke up and I fucking started crying, and I went over and I gave her like a hug because I like love my sisters. So that'd have been like the worst thing ever. That's by far my worst dream I've ever had.
Well, maybe you shouldn't have let her go then.
I guess not.
No, seriously, Twister fucked me up. Tornadoes is definitely a top 4 fear of mine.
Because of Twister?
Probably, but there was like one little scare. I don't remember how old I was, but I just walk upstairs. My dad's right, like standing by the door. He's like, "Pretty green outside." I was like, "What does that even mean?" Because that means it's gonna be a tornado. Look, it's all dry. The rain stopped. I was like, "Oh my god, this is just like Twister."
Does that mean when the rain stops? Does that mean that there's a tornado coming?
So says my dad.
Is there science behind that?
Probably. That was some early bro science from him, I'm betting.
Did you ever have like any tornado scares in school? I had one.
We had the tests and shit, but no actual ones.
We had one this was when I went to E-course.
You're
Like,
just gonna interrupt my story with your tangent?
you said it was a stupid ass fucking, what did you call it? Forget. A tornado alarm? That's not real.
What?
A tornado drill. Sorry. A drill?
That was in school. I was literally in the middle of telling a story. It was like, you ever get anything from school?
I was talking about like real tornadoes, motherfucker. I don't care about your drills. I had
I'm
like
not talking about the drill. I was telling a story, with my dad.
Oh, okay. Go on with your
I
dad.
don't even want to go into it anymore. No, there was no tornado.
Exactly.
But still, it's the principle of it.
I had, when I went to E-course school for 5th grade, I went to like one of the ghetto schools. We actually like legit had like a tornado warning, and like tornadoes touched down, and we had to go in the fucking in the hallways right next to the cafeteria. And we were all in that like fetal position.
Mm-hmm.
I was pretty scared from that. Good story, huh?
Yeah, that was great. Thank you for that. So you've been dreaming a lot more. Is it just the tornado dreams, bad dreams? Do you have any good dreams?
I had a dream I fucked Ahsoka Tano. I had a dream that Ahsoka Tano was real life Avatar style, and
story
looking fine as fuck. I mean, Clone Wars Ahsoka, she got a body. Like, let's not even pretend. She got a body. She's sassy. You know, I like my girl sassy.
Everybody,
she got fucking force, strong as shit. Right? She could do anything for me. She can use the force for like
it'll
sex.
be Nick's money, don't worry.
Like fucking amazing. And I was straight up in my dream. I knew I was in a relationship with my girlfriend.
Just make sure to stay strong through these trying times.
I looked at her.
The most important thing is to tune out what you don't want to hear.
And I thought to myself,
stop. I can't.
Jedi or girlfriend? Loyalty or an alien Jedi? I picked the alien Jedi. And I woke up and I told my girlfriend, and I said, I do not regret my decision.
You're clear. First of all, let me just say you're way too open about it. Shouldn't have told your girlfriend. Shouldn't have told us.
I'm open about everything.
You have no boundaries. You have no concept of it. It's ridiculous. So once again, sorry to everybody. And don't forget, you'll check your mail for that check.
I bet you every 99% of the men on the planet, if they had a dream that there was some hot Jedi bitch that was all over them, they would have done the same thing. Don't tell me you wouldn't. Because I know for a fucking fact you would have. You just wouldn't admit it.
What I'm telling you
got no balls.
Is that telling me this and the podcast this and your girlfriend this is a poor idea.
You asked me if I had any good dreams. That's the first thing that popped in my head.
That's another problem. That would be problem number 2. That was the first thing that came to your mind.
Well, I don't really remember all the good dreams. I remember the bad dreams.
Wow. Way to focus on the negatives.
I don't know if I really... I can't... Do you have good dreams? Well, you smoke.
I smoke. I don't have dreams.
You don't have dreams, so... There's that.
The only dream that sticks out to me right now, I had it multiple years ago. For some reason, I still remember it. I was on this big tanker ship. Think that like the Titanic or...
Tanker?
Not a tanker.
Like a cruise type ship?
Yeah, cruise or freight type ship. Like a big ass one. And the thing just goes vertical while I'm on it. I'm at the back of it. Yeah. No, not sinking. Just vertical. And I, for some reason, have a moment to realize this and get like in a box. Because that was my first reaction. It was like, oh, gotta get in a box because we're about to go down. And so I started falling in this box and I couldn't see anything. I was just like looking through the holes going...
Tumbling down?
Yep. And I woke up.
That's not a good dream.
I didn't say it was good. It was just the only one that sticks out to me.
Can you remember any good dreams offhand?
I can't remember any dreams offhand except for that one.
That's weird, right?
There was one where my dad was possessed by a ghost and yelling.
That's not a good dream.
Yelling at himself in the mirror. I guess I'm only remember the negative ones. Yeah, way to call me on a fucking bullshit.
I think it's because it's scary. I remember like end of the road dreams, Michael Myers dreams, and obviously the tornado dreams fucked me up. The rest of them aren't that bad. Well, I had a dream when my grandma passed. Like literally, like right after she passed, I had a dream that we were at her graveyard and she dug out, and I was like, my grandma's alive. And I went to go give her a hug, but she was a straight up zombie, so she kept chasing me.
Oh my god. Zombie dreams are kind of fucked up because there's like a feeling of helplessness. I do remember like one scene of a dream for some reason where I just walked into like a horde of zombies and I had nowhere to go. That's a shitty feeling.
I've never had a kind of dream like that.
Well, just
watch me have a dream like that tonight.
You're welcome.
I'll wake up and punch you in the fucking throat.
It's awful.
And you're gonna wake up and be like, you know why?
I'm sorry. So anyways, that's what's been up with us. And our dreams, apparently.
Yeah, well, another thing that's been up with me is...
Oh, okay, we've got more.
Finally got my mama a house.
Oh, that's not important. Let's go back to the dreams.
Extremely important. It was the number one goal that I had this year.
Number one?
And it finally fucking happened.
Tell us about it.
Well, for everybody who doesn't listen to every single podcast, because none of you are loyal.
Assholes.
Fucking fake fair weather fans.
Those people are not getting a check in the mail, by the way.
Anyways, my mom was in a car accident. Not this Mother's Day, the Mother's Day prior to that. So like a year and a half ago by now.
Sounds right.
I got her tickets. Me and my sister got her and my aunt tickets to this cruise in Detroit. It's called the Detroit Princess Cruise.
Okay.
And they had like a Mother's Day special. And we were like, okay, dope. My mom never really gets out of the house because she got so many damn kids and she's a single mom and she's just working nonstop. But like, I normally buy her shit she needs. So like, I'm going to like get her something that she can actually treat herself with. So we got her tickets there and some food and got her some alcohol shit. And it was going to be cool. So I go over there with my girlfriend, and we're watching my sisters, and they take off. And then all of a sudden, I get a call from my mom, and I answer it, and I just hear her like crying and howling in pain. And it was like a voice I'll never fucking forget.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew something was wrong, like really, really bad, because I could just tell she was just like, we got to accident, I'm hurt, and she was just like moaning in pain.
Mm-hmm.
And I just like, I didn't even tell anybody what was going on. I just went right in my car and I took off. And Xena knew because she could tell how I acted. And I just kind of abandoned my girlfriend at the house, which was credit to her. She did well because she wasn't really comfortable with I got 6 sisters. She wasn't comfortable with my 4 other sisters that were at the house.
Right.
But they were panicking because of how I reacted. I wasn't like a big brother there. I was just like, okay, I got to help my mom.
Mm-hmm.
But she did good by like trying to calm them down and shit. So I fucking like Paul Walker'd that fucking highway. I got to where
I don't know if that's a good thing.
I've Vin Diesel'd the fucking highway to get to where she was. And I got there, and her and my aunt were both still in the car. And the car was fucked up. They were on the highway, and somebody bumped into their rear end, and they spun out of control and went flying into one of the cinder block walls, pretty much. And my mom's seatbelt popped off when she was in there. And fun fact, the car that they were in, there's a fucking
recall.
Yeah, recall on the seatbelt.
Figures.
And I was like, well, that's fucking great. So I get over there, and I can't even open my mom's door because it's so bent in, and she's like howling pain. So I have to like literally rip it open, and I see there's like blood all over her knee, and she's saying she can't feel her legs, and I'm like, fucking A, this is like scary. And my aunt finally gets out of the car. As soon as she gets out of the car, she looks at me and she goes, bleh, and just like throws up everywhere. My sister's losing her shit. She's crying her eyes out. So that's when my big brother instinct came in, and I was like trying to keep it cool. And I was like, go watch Bernice, go get her something to take care of her. And then I'm watching my mom. And I was like, at first I was going to try to help my mom move. And then I was like, no, I can't touch her. Because I don't know if it's like spinal. I don't know what's going on.
Right.
And the EMT place gets there. And then, first of all, they did a terrible job. They took them way too long to get my mom out of there. And they had a hard time like putting her on the stretcher the right way. So I had to help them the whole process. And I don't know. It's whatever. She got to the hospital, but I felt like they put her through way more pain than it was necessary. So we get to the hospital, and we're there from like well over 24 hours. And it took like 8 hours for them just to say that she was stable. Like there was like an 8-hour period where I didn't really know like what was happening.
Right.
Like shit could have gone south.
Yeah.
For all we knew.
That's shitty as hell.
Yeah. And my sisters are freaking out. My girlfriend's calling me, freaking out, saying these kids they're saying they're gonna beat me up because my sisters are ghetto as fuck.
Yeah.
And I was like, Jesus Christ. So I was like trying to chill them out, trying to give them news, calm them down. My whole family starts showing up. That's one good thing about my crazy ass family. They all have their own issues, but when shit hits the fan, they all come together. So I can say that. But shit. Wait, interrupt my story, bro.
Sorry.
Anyways, after like 6 hours or 8 hours, the doctor comes and he said they finally stabilized her. And they told us that all I can see right now is that her hip is out of place, and they had to stabilize her knee, and her arm's broken. I was like, damn. So we finally go back there and we see her, and she's all looped out of her mind, but she's still in like pain and shit. And she was traumatized pretty good. So it fucked her up pretty good. And then like the next day, she had to go through an 8-hour surgery on her fucking leg, which was also a scary thing because my mom had a heart attack in the past with my youngest sister. 6 kids does a lot to your heart, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
And she smokes, so it wasn't the best thing. So we were worried about that because it's a risk if you're out for, or if you're under for that long, like if your heart gets weak or not.
Yeah.
But she's a fucking trooper. She fucking survived that shit, no problem. And turns out like all the injuries, I'm probably gonna forget some. But long story short, because I already made this way too long, was her hip was out of place. Her hip socket was shattered in like 6 different spots. Her femur and her leg was broke. Her knee was all busted up. And this was all on one side. And then on the opposite side, her wrist was like completely shattered. Like, you know how you can move your hand like in a circular motion? It was out of socket to where she couldn't move it. And then her wrist was broke, and then her shoulder was shattered. So she had like one arm that was completely gone, and then on the opposite side, her leg was broke with her knee all fucked up and her hip all fucked up.
Jesus.
So it was like a shitty thing.
Just like shattered a little bit.
Yeah. She looked like RoboCop after 2 surgeries because they had to do a shoulder surgery the very next day or like the day after that. And that one was like 4 hours long, but she pushed through it, and she was in the hospital for like a month, and then she had to go to like a rehab hospital for like a month after that.
Physical therapy and
Yeah.
shit.
And she didn't walk in for like well over a year almost.
Right, you guys were saying that she might not have been able to walk at Christmas.
Right. Yeah, that was our thing. Was like if she could walk by Christmas, which she could barely. She could take a step, but she couldn't walk. And like my mom, like I said, she's a single mom with all these kids, so she didn't have like the best lifestyle, I guess you could say. We lived in Detroit and times were tough for sure. So while this was all going on, I had to like take head of the mantle as far as the family.
Right.
Like had to like start like delegating, like, okay, who's gonna do what? Like, where are my sisters going on Monday or Tuesday? Because I live in an apartment, they can't just stay here all the time, and I could take them back and forth to school. I have a job. My sister had a job, but that she has a job, and then my aunts and my uncles all have their own lives as well. So I was like coordinating, communicating with everybody. Everybody chipped in. Everybody did their fair share. I was helping my mom with her bills because like no income at all, and it was tough for like a full year. Like I was like I was going in debt, getting super stressed out because I had like the weight of my family on my shoulders. Whenever there's an issue with my mom, everybody in my family was calling me, and it was just stressing me the fuck out. And it was like fucking making me crazy. It was like it was affecting my relationship with my girlfriend. It was affecting me individually because I was like not having fun in life anymore because I felt like I was way too busy.
Yeah.
And it was just a fucking huge mental struggle. But the one thing I wanted to get out of it was I told my mom, like, let's try to find positive out of this. Like, first of all, like, quit smoking. Like, obviously, you went through the times where it's like a physical, what is that called? When you go through detox?
Sure.
Because she went through detox in the hospital. And then I was like, okay, you're going to quit smoking and then find that positive because, like, your bones were fucking healed up. Like, your organs, it's going to take way longer to heal compared to your bones and shit. And then also, with all your lost wages because you haven't had any income for a year, when you get your lost wages from the lawyer, from your job, let's use that down payment to get you a house. Because, like I said, she was living check to check, so it was hard for her to save money.
Right.
But now she gets a lump sum, and I didn't care about, like, I didn't want no money back at all. I'd much rather have them out of Detroit, and the area that they were in was, like, terrible, like abandoned houses and shit. Like, you think of Detroit, the stereotype, that's where my mom was at.
Yeah, I remember.
It wasn't like, yeah, it wasn't like a downtown nicer area of Detroit. It was a bad area. And we finally got the lump sum, and then I was like, okay, dope. So then we had to go into starting to get a house, and that was a huge other process that I thought was going to be way easier than it was. Like, I thought, okay, she could easily get a loan. Nope. I didn't realize her credit score was absolutely horrible. So I had to, like, get my mom's credit score up. I, like, put her on my credit cards, and, like, I know a lot about credit because I've listened to a bunch of financial podcasts. Shout out to Listen Money Matters.
Shout out to no one.
Listen Money Matters. I've listened to them a lot, and they've taught me a lot about, like, credit cards and shit, and credit in general. So I got her credit up all the way to like 700 within like, no, not 700, that's like 650 in like 3 months. I'm like, okay, we can start getting pre-approved for loans. And we did get pre-approved for loans, and we had a couple houses where we thought we were going to get the house. Like, they accepted the offer, they go through, and then like there always was something that fucking ruined it. Like, the first time we thought we were going to have a house, they're like, oh, well, you have an out-of-state lender, we need an in-state lender. We couldn't get one in time. I'm like, fuck. And then this whole time, my mom's like getting her hopes up, and then it doesn't work out. Hopes up, doesn't work out. And it's very demoralizing. Like, I would lose my shit personally if I was in my house for a year and a half, all cooped up with like a bunch of little shit kids running around, and I can't work out. I can't go out and work. I would go crazy. Like, me personally, I would. So I get how she was like, she had a lot of low moments, and but she's tough. She pushed through it, and we finally got to where we're at now, and we realized that we couldn't get a mortgage because even though they said that she was pre-approved for mortgages because she didn't have steady income, they wouldn't like accept it. She has income coming in from the lost wages and whatever, but they didn't consider it steady income, even though they said they did. They just straight up lied. So that really pissed me off, and that demoralized me too. But then we found a dope real estate agent, and we found some land contract homes, and then we found the one that she's in now, and she did it really, really fast. Like, once we got her within like 3-4 months, we got the house. And I think like last weekend was when we had to go actually sign the paperwork and all that. And I read over the contract, and I was like, I don't know, some of these like are a little sketchy. So we had to like the whole fucking that ordeal of signing the paperwork for a house, closing on a house, is stressful as fuck.
Yeah.
I felt like I was in like a argumentative state, like, because you have the homeowners there, and then you have my mom there, and you got the real estate agent, and you got the lawyers. And we were like, well, we're not accepting these because of X amount of reasons. I don't want to get like too deep into it. And they're like, at first they were like, okay, well, you don't have to accept that, but we're not gonna like sell the house then. And then our real estate agent was just straight up, okay, like threatened to walk away, and I was like, fuck, another one just like gets so close and then this happens. But then like things cooled down and then we ended up talking it over and then they ended up giving us what we wanted, which was awesome. And then we fucking got the keys to the house and I was like, fucking A. Like it didn't even feel real because we've been going through this for so goddamn long. And even when we got the keys, it didn't feel real. It felt real like the past couple of days. Like on Halloween, it felt real because that whole weekend I was moving shit and got everything over to the house. And I was like, okay, it's time for you guys to unpack. And my mom was like, my mom also didn't feel like it was real. She's like, I feel like I'm at a hotel. Like she said she couldn't sleep for shit because she wasn't used to it. And like it's way quieter compared to Detroit. And I don't know, it's just awesome. And like I went over there on Wednesday on Halloween to visit my sisters and that. And they were just all like happier, way less stressed. My mom was a lot happier. And like things just seemed like they were like normal for a change. And that's like not, normal is not normal for my family.
It's true.
Like I can tell you motherfuckers some stories.
You think you have.
So that was like a huge check mark in my, or feather in my cap, I guess you could say, for this yearly, for my yearly goals.
Okay, yeah.
So yeah.
That's awesome.
Dope thing for me. Beat that story, motherfucker.
Okay. Let me transition very smoothly over to what I did on Halloween. So you may have been, improving the lives of your family immeasurably and providing for them a stable home to which they can grow for the rest of their lives. But I was wrangling up some deer and pigs in Red Dead Redemption 2.
For a second, I thought, like, did you hunt? Like, you might even fucking hunt. You never hunted a day in your life.
It's true. But I do virtual hunt a lot. Red Dead Redemption 2, in case you didn't listen to last week's podcast, I gave a very brief little preview about some of the details of the game.
It wasn't out yet.
Right. It was we recorded it the day before it came out. I pre-ordered it, I played it the next day, and I basically have not stopped since. I've even incorporated a little bit of Westworld into my daily diet, just because, the Western thing is on the mind.
You told me today you think it's better than Spider-Man, which I was shocked.
It's a better game than Spider-Man. I will say I think Spider-Man is more fun, but it's two different things.
Is it like a better story?
It's a better story. It's a more fleshed out world. It's super detailed. You can tell there was a ridiculous amount of effort that went into it. So much effort that they were actually in a controversy about labor, scandals, like pushing people and incentivizing 100-hour work weeks, mandatory, and mandatory overtime and shit for like the programmers and the game designers. And Rockstar would like defend it and have a few employees speak out like, no, there was never like mandatory. We wanted to. It's a credit thing, But you could kind of tell that maybe they were being forced. So
they definitely put the work in for it. Because
definitely
the scenery, I haven't played it, but I watched you play it. And just the background in general, this looks amazing. Every single time I watch you, I say, like, I fucking hate what we did to America with roads and shit.
You keep saying that.
Like, it'd be so dope to have that landscape now.
It's actually beautiful. Even if you like don't like games, just look up Red Dead Redemption screenshots or something. It's actually gorgeous.
There's been a lot of shit that's gone viral as far as Red Dead Redemption.
I know, it's so popular. Literally everybody who owns a gaming console is probably playing it right now.
I did not fucking know they had bears in that game until literally a couple days ago.
I do not know why you're so afraid of bears.
Have you seen Revenant?
Yeah, I saw the Revenant, and I was attacked by a big-ass bear in the game. He had a big-ass scar on his eye, and I shot him like thrice, and motherfucker ate me and walked away.
Exactly, and you're telling me that didn't traumatize you?
It did. I'm still hoping to like hunt him down like he's my Moby Dick a little bit, but all I'm saying is that not every bear is like, dude, there's bears.
I seen a video on Facebook. It was like one of those like 1 minute things, and it was some guy. He killed a rabbit. He's like, no, I'm gonna hunt something my own size, and he like shot the bow at a fucking bear, and you just hear the bear go, roar!
Yeah, they don't give a shit.
And like turn, and he's turning, running away, and he runs right into a rock, and the fucking bear just attacks him, and it goes, we'll be right back. And I was like, Jesus Christ, dude, I had no idea there was fucking bears in the game.
The game is so detailed, and everything, like I said last week, everything just makes sense and works how you would expect it.
Are there mountain lions?
There are cougars and mountain lions, alligators, buffalo. There might be buffalo.
Oh shit! Sure. Yeah, you haven't gone to the swamp yet.
I haven't even gotten to it.
And there's gonna be you're gonna get ate by a crocodile.
I am probably gonna. I have died so many times. The game.
What happens when you die? Do you like lose money or something?
It says, you know how in GTA.
Wasted.
Yeah, it says wasted, and this it says dead because Red Dead. Yeah. And then you lose some money. You start back at like a checkpoint or nearby place. If There's some punishments that you get. If your horse dies, it dies permanently, which is a big trauma blow because they like incentivize
Do you like build relationships with your
horse
horses?
bonding. Yeah, they want you to treat it right and be its friend. Personally, my horse is my best friend. His name is Washington. He's the best horse in the West. Don't let anyone ever tell you otherwise.
Well, from what I just seen today, I don't trust you at all because you looked like a straight up animal abuser.
Okay, first of
Seen
all,
you slaughter 4 pigs for no goddamn reason.
it wasn't no reason I wanted to take them and, harvest their bodies in nature.
What did you already
for
have
money.
on Washington?
That wasn't Washington for one. That was a backup horse. I had to like train him up just in case. Washington's he's relaxing. He's got it made. He's done his work.
So what did you have on your backup horse?
It was like
I'm pretty sure it was a big ass buck.
it was a big ass buck. It was like 9 points or something.
And then you found somebody's house.
It was a farm.
His farm. You're like, what the fuck is this?
He was yelling at me. He was like,
goes-
"Hey, you!"
He's get away from my property.
He's something like that.
And then you didn't,
He pulled out a gun,
because you didn't.
right?
And then you killed him.
While he pulled out a gun,
And
shot him
then-
in the face.
And then you went into his pig farm, and I watched you slaughter all 4 pigs.
Well,
You stabbed him in the ass and in the forehead.
I wasn't aiming properly.
And then you
obviously.
skinned one of them, and that was it.
Well, I couldn't carry all the skins, so I skinned 2 of them. I did take the skins. I just didn't take their leftover bodies.
What a waste.
Here's the thing: I killed
Indians
the
would be
owner.
upset with you.
That I said that when I was doing it, but whatever. The owner of the pigs was dead. They would have died to malnutrition anyway because they were in a fenced, enclosed area.
That's such bullshit.
Not like anyone could have
Pigs-
possibly walked by or anything.
Pigs are smart as fuck. They would have figured
they?
it out. Yeah, so they're by far the smartest farm animal. You didn't know that?
I don't think so.
You know the reason why they get all muddy and shit is because they're white as you, and they get sunburned. Like, could you imagine your ass out in the sun all day? You die.
You call me a pig?
I'm calling you a fucking. You're pink as a pig.
And listen, the whole thing with like stabbing him in the ass, the game is not very intuitive when it comes to like telling you what you should do. You just kind of have to figure it out.
Your guy like went down.
He
in a
100%
downward
did.
motion, and he looked like he went straight up the butthole with a knife.
Here's what I was picturing. I walk up to a pig. It was just chilling there. It was just laying there. It was waiting to be slaughtered. I'm sorry. It was.
Yeah, it's
I
safe
have a
defense
I have a
area.
knife in my hand. What I'm picturing is just like cut its throat, get some bacon. That was my plan. Arthur Morgan, the character that you play in this game, stabs him in the asshole. I don't understand why. And then the pig gets up squealing and runs around, and now all the other pigs are fucking spooked, and I have to
Yeah.
I have to run around chasing them, stabbing them in the asshole because that's all Arthur Morgan knows how to do.
Because that's one of the reasons why you killed off 4. Because you're like, Nick, I have a problem. And I was like, what? You're like, I stabbed one of the pigs and ran away, and I have no idea which one it was.
Couldn't tell which one I stabbed, so I just had to stab all
So
of
a
them.
logical answer. That's some Anakin Skywalker logic right there.
Okay. Well, I have a little bit of a list of the other things that I've encountered.
Oh Jesus.
There's this one time I was hunting deer. I was in the woods. You saw how it is in the woods. It's very immersive. It's like a real
Yeah, it
woods
looks
situation.
amazing.
It's incredible. I find a deer. I get a decent shot at it, but it yelps, it gets up, and it runs away, much like the pig. And then I lost it. So I chase it, and I think I'm on its trail because it gives you a nice little thing on the UI, like a trail showing where it's going, but you have to follow it yourself.
Okay.
And I find it, and I shoot, and I hear a bunch of men holler. And then
Kill a horse, bro.
no, I shot a dude with an arrow because I thought he was a deer. So they start chasing me. I run naturally because I didn't mean to do that. And I turn around. Turns out it was the KKK.
What, the KKK?
Yes, I was
this
completely surprised to see a dude just on his horse in the whole white getup, the mask and everything.
Holy shit. That's
Now-
controversial as fuck.
That's where I stopped.
Did you kill the motherfuckers?
I parked myself behind a tree and I just started taking pot shots and I killed all of them.
Good.
And then some passerby came by and reported me for murder. Now I got a $250 fucking bounty in that
Oh,
county.
seriously? You
yeah.
get a bounty on your head?
Yeah, you're an outlaw. That's the
Dude, this
point.
game is... I want to play this game.
You gotta finish Spider-Man
Yeah.
first.
I'm getting pretty far in Spider-Man. I'm like 35% done.
Okay, there's another time where I saw a man doing something with a horse. There are these situations... Now, I'll get to it.
Doing what
I'll
with the
get
horse?
to it! There's these situations where there's just strangers...
Fucking horses?
No, will you let me get to it?
Bestiality?
Just strangers like around, and you engage in their little story, and you can get a reward from it. What I mean by doing something, it looked like he was like patching it up or like fixing up its leg or something. Mm-hmm. And then I walk over to
Which
it,
leg? The fist leg?
and then I walk over to it, and I'm expecting like him to say something like, "Dude, my horse is so hurt. You gotta like help me fix it." And that horse just kicks him straight to death. Dude just falls over and dies. I was like, "Holy shit!" It bolts off. I track it obviously because I'm not clearly that horse is on one, and I need to get some. I need whatever it's hiding. I find it using my superior tracking skills. I notice it has a saddlebag on it that I can search. I'm like, fuck yeah, I did it. Search a saddlebag, kicks me straight to death. So that was what the guy was doing.
Learn your lesson.
Ugh, yeah.
Could you imagine getting kicked by a horse?
It would probably kill you.
It made me feel like fractured your rib and like stabbed on your organ.
Well, that guy for sure died. He went like straight down, flipped over. It was awful. Overall, I can't say it enough. The game has a ridiculous level of detail.
How's the story? Are you gonna like break down the story at all?
I keep getting distracted. Every time I go in the woods, I just have to hunt an animal or I accidentally kill a person.
Trying to say he's as busy as Peter Parker?
He's busier.
Bro!
The world is bigger than Spider-Man, I'm pretty sure. Don't quote me on like the actual game world sizes. It's enormous. It spans multiple states. You have a complete control over where you go. You're not...
What percentage are you at?
It says like 26, but I'm on chapter 2 of 6, and I haven't progressed basically at all.
So I wonder if all the side missions count as your...
Probably. All the shit I'm collecting and whatnot. It's so deep, like the amount of things you can do. You can do only hunting and skinning. You can just rob trains. You can get... I'm pretty sure there's like property shit. And you can do all this or none of it and just stick to the main story.
That's fucking amazing. I was thinking about, like, you know how Fable, like how much you could do in Fable back in the day?
Exactly.
But imagine that now with the graphics and the story that they can make now. And it's just fucking ridiculous.
It's mind-blowing.
Kids got it made nowadays.
Kids? I'm enjoying the shit out of myself. You can grow a beard, a mustache, or mutton chops.
That's where I'm at.
You can trim your beard in different ways. Like you can trim just the chin, you can trim just the mustache, you can trim just the sides, and it all grows. There's like 15 different lengths it can be.
Back in the day, that'd be like a huge thing for a game. Now that's
Seriously.
it's like a necessity for every game.
I suppose so. It's still kind of ridiculous. But
overall, you like it? It's A+?
It's definitely A+. I'm not sure I'm ever going to stop playing it. I will in like 2 weeks once I get burned out because I
you're
haven't
gonna
stopped
find a new
playing
game
it,
in like 2 weeks, and then I get to play it.
But that's part of the game. That's what happened with Spider-Man. But I'm still keeping up with Spider-Man. As long as I stay ahead of you, I'll be fine.
You were talking about something being tough on someone, and I don't know what I was talking, but it reminded me.
What?
Shut up. It reminded me of an article I seen today with Henrik Zetterberg talking about Mike Babcock.
Okay.
And you like that segue?
Yeah.
Let me see if I can find that article real quick. So basically, it was Henrik Zetterberg giving his thoughts on Mike Babcock.
Right.
And I was like, wow, I need to see what this is about. So
boy, Nick, you've sure set this up to be a grand tale. It better live up to the expectations.
I wasn't quite
You weren't
prepared.
ready for it. You just jump in with your story without having it there, huh?
I thought that
Yep.
I wasn't even going to talk about it.
We don't even want to hear.
Okay, I can't find it. Anyways, because I shared it to our friend, Fartin Borch. And so I was going to go on his Facebook and try to find it, but I can't find it. Anyways, the article basically said what Zetterberg thought of Babcock. And he was saying that him and Babcock were like never friends. And they genuinely didn't really like each other.
Really?
Yeah. And he said that Babcock was the type of person that demands things out of you. And he gets you in that state of mind where you want to like prove him wrong. Like you know how somebody gets you so goddamn angry.
They're an antagonist?
Yeah. They're not like necessarily pushing you in the healthy way. They're pushing you in a non-healthy way. And I think that's probably true with Babcock. Because
Probably.
I remember when he was our coach. And obviously I still think he's the best coach in the NHL. And there's a reason why. Maybe he just demands so much out of his players.
Right. But
And there's some players that are going to have like obviously like some kind of like conflict with that. If their personalities don't match, if they're somebody that gets motivated in different ways, of like an easygoing coach. I mean,
there are other coaches like that. I think Bill Belichick's another guy
Is he
that's
like that?
a lot like that. Yeah, demands a lot.
because in the free agency, there's been a few years where we straight up didn't get players because they said they didn't want to be under Babcock.
Spooky.
Yeah.
I can imagine.
So that's interesting for Zetterberg to say because Zetterberg is a leader. He's one of the best leaders in the NHL, like NHL history, probably like top 20, top 50. I don't know. I don't want to get too crazy with Zetterberg. I'm biased as fuck.
Clearly.
But he's an unbelievable captain, unbelievable leader. And his work ethic is second to none. He was always out there. He was a professional. He learned from Yzerman and Lindstrom. He had a good system going.
Yeah.
And for him to say that about Babcock was interesting. And I was looking at some of the comments and the remarks, and some people were just like, interesting. I don't know what to think about that. Some people were dogging Zetterberg, saying, oh, what, your coach expects a lot out of you? Boo fucking who? And I guess like his last couple years, like remember, like he had a lot of press conferences after the fucking games where he was just straight up calling players out, and dude, you could see the frustration in him.
Yeah.
And that's rare for a fucking Swedish hockey player,
Really?
especially a captain. That's like he's known for being like a mature,
Supportive.
leader, like a Lindstrom, like the perfect human. Like he never got frustrated.
The perfect human.
Yes, he is. And I wonder if that's why Zetterberg. I wonder if that's one of the reasons why he retired early as well, like an X factor. I wonder.
Coffee's done.
Coffee is done. But I thought that was interesting.
That is interesting. There's something to that. Like this Red Dead Redemption game, we're talking about how detailed and incredible it is for us, the players. But the behind the scenes, the work that's going into it to make it happen.
That's what it was.
I know it was. I didn't want to say it while you were telling your story
Because I'm
nice.
stupid.
Because I'm nice about not interrupting people. But
I'm not.
Does it make you question about whether the greatness is worth it? Is it worth the demand?
Steve Jobs made the iPhone. He didn't make it, but he fucking demanded excellence out of everybody. And obviously they didn't fucking like him. He went down as like a controversial person. Like, but as far as his legacy, he's one of like the most brilliant minds of all time, right? Brilliant leaders.
Is it worth it?
That's what something you gotta ask yourself.
The misery those people below him
I don't think that he
felt.
was a happy individual. Probably.
Sure, yeah.
Like I'm sure that he. I mean, I don't know. Maybe that like styles and personalities are different.
Yeah,
but me
that's 100%
personally,
different.
I couldn't be like that.
Yeah.
Like I would not like be comfortable with myself. I would not be happy with myself if I was like a very demanding type of person that would just like cast people away if they weren't up to my standards or stuff like that. But at the same time, you have to find there's like a fine line because what they say is like typically is you are who you hang out with.
Sure.
So you got to be careful. Like sometimes you can have friends that you really like enjoy their company and that, but you can't like surround yourself with them consistently if they're not necessarily on the same path as you as far as your goals in life.
True.
So I guess you got to find like a balance in that.
I heard someone say once, if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room.
Yeah. Yeah. Are you like whenever you're training, I've always heard like you should always like put yourself with people that are better than you. Else you're never gonna you're not gonna get as better or as you're not gonna improve as fast as you could. Like in jiu-jitsu, for example, if you're a fucking blue belt and you're just rolling around with white belts all day, you'll be able to fucking
you'll cream them.
You'll get your submissions more technical in that, but you're not gonna get any better as in regards to facing a fucking purple belt.
Right.
Like you're gonna get your ass smashed because you're not gonna be used to the competition in that. But if you're a blue belt and you're going against purple belts consistently, you're gonna get a lot better faster. So I guess there's a fine line, but that's kind of different than like. Steve Jobs was just like a fucking demanding leader.
Right.
And he like his motivation tactics were like negative.
Right. And it's just forced out like all the worst parts about labor.
So yeah, I think that part, like me personally, I couldn't do it, but at the same time, maybe you need people like that to get to the next level faster.
Spur greatness.
Maybe you need a Thanos in life every once
Fuck
in
you,
a while.
I knew it was gonna go to Thanos. I can hear it. The balance. There's a fine line. Just kill half the population.
I don't think Thanos was as bad as people. Like,
Thanos did nothing wrong.
no, he definitely did something wrong. He's immoral. Killed people.
Yeah.
There's a fine line.
His balance.
Yeah. But I don't think he's like the worst fucking villain they fought. Like he wasn't just like straight up evil. Like Joker's like straight up evil.
Yeah.
Like there's like no method to his madness.
Some men just want to watch the world burn. Not Thanos though.
Cersei.
He just wants to watch.
That cunt.
That's a woman. I can't wait to start talking about Game of Thrones shit.
Dude,
That's been my favorite time of year
it's coming
for the
up.
last time of my life.
No, they're gonna have more Game of Thrones.
Oh, you're right. There's gonna be spinoffs. Woo! Thanks for that,
It's
Nick.
probably not gonna be as good as the original.
Yes, it will. It'll be even better.
I wish that they fucking isn't the spin-off gonna be like way in the past?
I hope so.
I wanted it to be the story before this one.
Robert's Rebellion?
Yeah.
Of course, yeah. I
That
think
would've
that's what
been
everyone
fucking-
wants.
But they're not doing that.
No, they're not. I don't know. They're doing, was it a...
I think they're doing like back in the day, the first Night King, when he like actually took over and like ran shit. Because there's been a time where like the Night King won.
I mean, yeah. That old lady that tells Bran stories talked all about it.
I think that's the fucking new series. Which I mean,
I'm pretty sure it
it'd
was...
be crazy to see.
I, for some reason, remember hearing it Sir Duncan and Egg, who is Aegon Targaryen. Not... that was
The
his
Mad King?
Not the Mad King. That's,
Before him?
That's Aerys. His name was Egg. Do you remember the old blind guy from...
Yeah.
I forget his name.
The brother of the Mad King?
Maester Aemon, yeah.
Yeah.
His brother, Egg, is him.
Oh, so
He
that's
goes
not
on
that far in the past.
He goes on adventures with some knight. I think his name is Duncan. I'm not 100% sure. But that's like a side story that George R. R. Martin wrote. That's what I thought it would be, but that might be something else. I could 100% see it being the first story of the White Walkers or something.
Do you think who do you think is going to be on the throne at the end of it?
There's no way to speculate that, man. I think there won't be one.
Do you think the Night King's going to win?
Do you remember Daenerys' vision when she lost Khal Drogo? She was walking through destroyed Red Keep, snow falling on the Iron Throne.
And there's obviously going to be a war there.
I think that's going to happen.
But I think she'll survive.
She will. Throne won't.
I low-key want her to
Loki?
I want her to die.
Like son of Odin?
I want her to like disappear.
Daenerys?
Yes.
You don't like competition for Jon Snow, do you, Mr. Bias?
There is one heir to the throne. And it's Jon motherfucking Snow.
Why can't they both be the heir to the thrones due to them fucking?
Jon can be the king. She can be his queen.
She was already the queen.
Yes,
before
but
Jon was king.
He is the heir to the throne. I think if it's Khaleesi versus the Night King, if Jon's not there, I think that shit would go south real quick. I think if Jon versus Night King, Jon could still do it. That's what I think.
Why can't Daenerys do it? This is a song of ice and fire. She's the fire. I guess Jon is too now, but he's like half fire.
He's fire and ice.
He's small,
literally the prince.
Fire.
He's the prince that was promised.
Daenerys is big, blazing fire.
Daenerys does not have what it takes to win that type of war, in my opinion. And
she's won every war she's had.
Well,
Jon's not really been in a war.
I'm not gonna sugarcoat her past. She did have a fucked up upbringing. Like she was at first raped, crazy, and then she had that weird "I fall in love with my raper" thing, which is very common.
I guess so.
And then she becomes a leader for a minute, and then if shit goes south, she almost gets murdered a few times.
Yeah.
She always finds a way to stay on top. I'll give her credit.
Okay.
But if you look at what Jon went through and you look at what Daenerys went through.
You're so biased.
Am I though?
Did Jon get raped?
Dog. He fought the White Walkers several times.
So Daenerys lost a dragon, one of her children, to the White Walkers. Nick's making a jerking off motion.
She wasn't there, motherfucker.
She watched it happen. Are you serious?
The one time she fights the Night King, she loses a dragon. Jon's fought them how many times?
And he didn't lose anybody? He didn't lose that fight in Hardhome?
He lost some people. He killed a White Walker.
Not really on purpose. That's what they're called. He was surprised.
A White Walker.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was about to die, dude. That was my favorite episode by far.
Sure.
When I watched that episode, I was legit scared. I thought he was gonna die because that and Sons of Anarchy are the only two shows that I ever watched where nobody was safe.
Well, that's like every show now. It's like a thing.
Is it?
Kinda. Walking Dead.
Fuck.
Tried to do the same thing.
Man.
No one's safe. Who will die?
I loved the Walking Dead for
like
the first few seasons. After that, it kind of like.
That's what everyone says about everything. There's multiple people who think the same thing about Game of Thrones. My personal favorite episode was episode 9 of the last season. The one was it the last season?
That's your favorite of all of them?
The one where it started out with just the music, like the piano, and then Cersei is about to go to her trial, but she just blows the fucking place up.
Oh, that's like 2 seasons ago.
Was it?
That's your favorite episode?
Yeah. It was perfectly done. The director that did it is one of the best directors for Game of Thrones, for sure.
Scene? How about that's your favorite scene, not the favorite episode?
No, it was my favorite episode. It had the most impact to me, I think.
Really?
Other than the Red Wedding and Oberyn Martell. When I watched Oberyn's thing, I literally turned off the TV and laid face down on the floor. I'm not joking with you. That's what I did.
Did you?
I was like, what did I just watch?
Was Oberyn like one of your guy?
He was. I was like, this guy's awesome. He's gonna be incredible. And then I went on my computer and looked up, like, does this actually happen, or am I getting fucked with right now? I look it up. There's even a comic of it showing it in also gruesome detail. I was like, oh no.
When the most shocking moment to me was when Ned got his head chopped off.
True. That's like made the series.
I legit when that happened, I was like, no way. So I went on the next episode. I'm like, you must have fucking missed, or there must have been like a vision. Like, they don't kill off the main character in the first season.
I know. Okay. So that was a weird little tangent we just went on. Anyways.
Shout out to Game of Thrones.
For sure.
Shout out to Jon Snow. He's my homie. He's what I inspire to be.
Okay, yeah, whatever. You are a bastard.
Whoa!
Going
easy there.
Speaking of sports, I'm going to do a really quick NFL thing because this is getting kind of long. But anyways, the Bears got to win over the New York Jets to move back up to first place in the division.
Is that the Lions where they got smoked in the beginning of the year? Was it the Jets? Or was it the Giants?
That was the Jets, yeah.
With Manning?
No, that was Sam Darnold.
No, we
They lose
faced
to
the Manning.
Manning?
We lost to a Manning. Yeah, Lions did.
That would be the Giants.
Okay, it was the Giants.
I'm pretty sure they lost to the Jets as well. But anyways, neither here nor there. So now they're up at first place. Last week they were in last place, and the week before that they were in first place. So it's been a little bit of a roller coaster for the.
So basically, what you're saying is that
NFC North.
division's like really tight.
Yeah, the Bears are 4-3, and everyone else is like 3-4.
They're all
so-
sucking equally.
Yeah, but everyone else lost in the division, which is funny. And the Bears did not have their MVP candidate Khalil Mack or one of their best offensive threats, Allen Robinson, and that just shows that they can win games without those tools, and that they're a fundamentally strong team, which is complete bullshit on my side, but I'm gonna go with it anyway due to confidence.
It was the Jets.
It was the Jets.
So is Khalil Mack injured?
It was ankle injury, I believe.
So it's not like a.
Both of those two players are questionable for this week. They're going to be playing the Bills.
Yeah, but they'll be back before playoffs if they make the playoffs.
Oh, for sure. And if they make the playoffs, that's a miracle achieved.
Really?
I mean, yeah, no one expected anything out of this team. Mitch Trubisky's, his stats are good, but people say he's not passing the eye test. But anyway, he's doing fine for me.
What do you think about the Golden Tate trade? We traded him for a 3rd round pick. I was looking and everyone saying the Lions just terrible fucking trade.
I think
Is a 3rd round pick good in football? Do you get like a starter from a 3rd round pick?
you can, I suppose, but not typically.
No?
I'm sure it was a contract thing or Golden Tate wanted out. He might have had only 1 year left.
Is there there's no like minor league for football, is there?
There's college.
So what do you do when you're drafted? You're just like, you hope you play?
Yeah.
That's it?
Yeah, if you're undrafted.
How many rounds are there?
Oh, man.
Is there a lot of rounds?
Kind of.
Like, what the fuck happens to all these players? Nothing?
Some of them go undrafted. I mean,
Just try out, and if you don't make the cut, you're done?
basically. They'll maybe go to the CFL like Johnny Manziel. Or is
Oh,
it
so
the
the
XFL?
CFL is like
something. It's not, no. It's just another avenue you can go, I suppose.
Okay, so there's options.
Speaking of, the Oakland Raiders and the 49ers just played yesterday for us. The Oakland Raiders are the former team of MVP candidate Khalil Mack.
Isn't
And
that what you said, that the team that's going to be favored to win it all this year?
who?
Oakland.
No.
Who did you say?
I said New Orleans.
Oh, okay.
Um,
No Orleans.
the Raiders.
Raiders, that's what it is.
No. The Raiders have been officially named the worst defense in the history of football. Something like that. Thursday, they allowed a third-string undrafted quarterback by the name of Nick Mullins for the 49ers to become verified on Twitter in the middle of the game because of how well he was playing against them. Third-string, undrafted, no one knew his name. People going like, who? He played super well. Of course, it may be that he's good or something, but like after the game, Richard Sherman yelled out BDN, which I'll leave to yourself to figure out. And
BDN?
BDN, figure it out yourself. And now he may be Twitter famous. I'm not 100% sure.
Butt?
But
Stare a butt?
no.
Bitch?
No. Big.
Big?
Figure it out. You got a brain.
Big dick?
Yeah.
BDN?
His name is Nick Mullins.
Big Dick Nick?
Hey! Hey!
I read Nick has a big dick. I ain't shocked about that.
What?
Big Nick Nick?
Humble brags. False humble brags. Alert.
It's not about the size of the
Shut up.
boat. It's the motion
How about
in the
Derrick
ocean.
Rose, man? Speaking of
Oh
sports
my god.
again.
I fucking forgot about Derrick Rose.
Yeah, I think you did. You were so high on him when he was in Chicago. He's like, why can't I be MVP? And you're like, yeah.
No, I forgot about that story is what I was saying.
Oh, just now.
When that happened,
I thought you meant like people forgot about Dre.
no. When that happened, I seen it and I told you, and then I went to bed. I woke up the next morning, I was in the shower, and I watched this interview, and I straight up cried. I'm not even joking.
cried?
I cried. I was getting all teary-eyed.
In case you don't know or don't follow basketball, Derrick Rose, former MVP, I believe that was 2009. He was also Rookie of the Year.
Fuck, that's like 8 years ago.
It was a long time ago. He was MVP. He was like the flashiest point guard of the time. Now there's Russell Westbrook, who's like inhuman, but he's inefficient, whatever. And then Derrick Rose got injured, knee injury after knee injury, and he was just
ACL injuries, like major injuries.
major. He was out for seasons. He was
Like
never
career-ending type injuries.
never the same. He got traded to the Knicks, or he may have been a free agent. Not 100% sure.
He bounced around a few teams.
Bounced
for sure.
around, and there was definitely talks of him retiring. There was a time where he literally just didn't show up to game.
Yeah, because he was mentally like. I couldn't even imagine the mental hurdles that fucker went
For
through.
sure. And that's what all the other big names are saying. LeBron, Kobe, Dwayne Wade.
Yeah, they're all proud. Like, they're all super happy for him.
And now this week, he's playing for Minnesota. He was a backup point guard for him last year. He just dropped a fucking 50-pointer.
Not back up no more.
Oh my god!
And he looked really, really good.
He did.
Like, his handles were really good. He was confident at his shot. He
even got
amazing passes.
He got a block to finish the game, the last shot. And then he started crying, and it was emotional for everybody.
That interview was just fucking amazing. I might go find that shit.
Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous. If you don't find it emotional at all, then you have no heart and you don't care about sports, and stop listening to us.
I knew about Derrick Rose before I even fucking liked basketball. Because when I was going through like my weight loss journey, I fucking... Here, let me put this up real quick. I'll pause it. But I used to watch motivational videos to get myself worked up to do insanity or to do a workout or to be disciplined with my diet and shit. And he was always on them. When his speech is like, okay, you won rookie MVP of the year. What makes you think you can win MVP of the year? And he goes, why can't I? He's like, I don't see why I can't. I put the fucking effort in. I work harder than anybody else in the room. There's no reason why I can't. And like, you know, with the motivational fucking music in the background, like trying to hype it up. And I was like, dude, I fucking love that guy. And then me and you started going out to bars and watching basketball, and you told me like, oh, he's on the Chicago Bulls. I'm like, that's my fucking favorite player. He's a fucking G.
Just like that. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, you barely even watched the game. I was like, I kind of like playoff basketball, I suppose. It can be exciting. Yeah. But Derrick Rose is my man. I love him. I was like, wow, that's a strong feeling to have towards a player of a sport you don't care about. And then all of a sudden you start caring about it. And then we played NBA 2K, and now Derrick Rose is back. And it only took you both 8 years to do it.
Derrick Rose might be like one of my most inspirational people in the world.
I can see that. His reasoning for dropping this 50-point game after all that shit he went through when he was asked was, I worked my ass off.
Yeah. And
how do you not respect that?
You got it. I was gonna say, you have to respect that. And for somebody who goes through all those injuries to come back and do that, and this is like, it's not like he just had one off year. He had like 6 or 7 off years. Nobody thought he would ever come back to be like an amazing player. But it's only one game where he played amazing like that.
True.
So he's actually playing Golden State tonight.
Ooh, going against Steph
Curry. So what if he fucking dogs Steph, dude?
Dude, that'd be something. Minnesota in general has been a fucking drama show. So that also adds another layer of emotions to it. I'm on Team Butler,
but I mean, maybe... Do you think Derrick Rose is on Team Butler, or do you think he's on like Team Lazy People?
Team Lazy People.
I definitely think he's on Team Butler.
I don't think he'd be on Team Lazy People. Yeah.
That's dope.
For sure. That's all I got in sports.
Well, Pistons aren't so hot right now. They're 4-3. They were 4-0.
They win on the back of Blake, but if he doesn't show up.
Well, they got smoked by Boston the first time. And then they played the fucking New York Knicks. I think, or no, the Brooklyn Nets, and they lost in overtime, and it was some like Reggie Jackson fucking choked, and then Blake also had like a fumble pass. It was like shit crumbled at the end.
Yeah,
but they were competitive, and that's a team that they should beat. So when they lost to them, I was like, God damn it, come on, Pistons. And then they faced Boston again, and it was a very competitive game where they lost like by like 2 points, 1 point.
Yeah,
and Kyrie went off that game. He had like 30 plus points, almost like a triple double, I believe.
Yep.
And Blake had like 25 points, but Drummond's fucking... I think he's gotten like 3 games this year where he's had 20 points, 20 rebounds.
It is nuts.
He's improving and he does.
All I'm saying is you see his game impact. They don't win.
They get close. What I'm saying is they're competitive.
They're close.
If you're competitive with the Boston Celtics, you're a playoff team in my opinion.
Interesting.
But
it's a bold take from Nick Marchminski.
I think they're facing Philly again here shortly, so we'll see if we can whoop that ass again.
You mean hopefully maybe their players will be starting
again?
Just saying.
And hopefully Joel Embiid doesn't go flippity floppy like a little pussy that he is.
Joel Embiid, by the way, is having like the best year ever. He's had like 3 games.
He had 1 good game.
He had like 3 games over 28 points, and he only had like 5 last year or something like that. Those are incorrect numbers, but whatever.
Just recently.
Yeah. So I don't know how you can say he's not playing well.
Yeah, he said 1 game, but he's not like best year.
3 games over 28 points. Nick's making a jack-off motion, and that's apparently the sound that he makes when that happens, but all right. Pistons are, I guess we'll see where they're going. Other teams, like the Houston Rockets, they're imploding.
For real.
They'll improve.
And they have to, right? It's just like a chemistry thing.
They're shooting bad. That's pretty much it. Melo, their entire bench is under 40%.
Not that well.
CP3's shooting under 40%.
Well, I mean, he was suspended a few games too, so I'm sure that
for being an asshole. Yep, that's for sure.
He was not an asshole.
Other people say he's an asshole. I'm gonna trust other people. Question mark.
I don't agree with that. I only heard one person, right? And it was from Lakers.
At least 2.
Okay, whatever. I'm still not gonna take their words for it. CP3 has those eyes that make you think he's a nice guy.
The eyes.
Yeah, so
Those
I'm
beautiful
not-
hazel brown eyes.
I'm not gonna until I see otherwise. I want to be on his side.
They are pretty beautiful. Not gonna lie.
Think you're about
I already said I'm done with sports, and then you continued to talk about sports,
Okay, well-
making my exit
I know we
segue awkward.
I know we had.
and now I'm gonna make it a little more
an
awkward for you
MMA
because I don't
MMA
like you
show
in
a
general.
couple days ago.
I just want to ruin the things that you tried to do.
But I just watched. You can try all you want. You can't break me. I'm a fucking professional.
Yeah, you're pretty belligerent.
I'm not drunk.
You don't have to be
If
drunk
I
to
was
be belligerent.
drunk, you would know.
You don't have to be drunk to be belligerent.
I would
That's
be
not what that
loud.
means.
All you guys are.
That's not what that means.
Anyways, I just watched the press conference for UFC 231.
Just now, during our, like while I was talking or
After
something.
I worked out and then I showered, I put it on while I was showering.
Okay.
Gomes.
Gomes.
John Jones versus Gus. I guess it's Gomes.
Gomes.
And then Cyborg versus Amanda Nunes.
What do you think? What is your mental game telling you, Nicholas?
Well, John Jones.
Is an asshole.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
in the interview, he was answering some questions.
Mm-hmm.
And some of them about his past, he was just straight up saying, I don't even want to answer these. I want to like look at the future. Somebody like briefly, Mark Ramundi, he briefly brought up the snitching allegation.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, there's a lot of things that came through with the USADA details that caused a lot of drama. I was like, do you want to get into any of that? So he didn't directly say it, but he was like, do you want to like tell everybody that you're a snitch?
Right.
And then he's like, no, I don't want to get into it. I want to focus on the positives and that. And then somebody asked John, he was like, what have you learned from all of this? And they had fans there, and a fan went, nothing! And then he started laughing. He goes, oh, that was a good one. And then somebody else was like, don't take dick pills. And then he started laughing. He had a hard time answering it. Like, for real. Like, he was like, like for a solid 30 seconds.
That's awkward.
Yeah, so, I don't know. It seems like,
He's an asshole.
yeah, but I mean, we all know he's an asshole now, so you gotta accept it.
I guess so.
He's not trying to be like this Jesus-loving, super like proud, and he's super proper guy
He's not
anymore.
pretending.
Yeah, he's not pretending that much anymore. And him and Gus got into it a few times. Gus saying that he beat him, and John Jones just like laughing about it, like ha ha ha. And then
That's what laughing is. Yep.
and then like Jones was like, oh, so did you beat DC too? And he goes, no, but I beat you. And he's like, oh, did you beat Phil Davis? He's like, no, but I beat you. He's like, I'm just trying to get like a mental thing in your head. And they ended up facing off at the end of it.
Yeah.
And John Jones looked a little emotional.
Did he?
Yeah, like you could see like some anger in his eyes. And another thing too, like they asked Gustafsson about the steroids and what he thought about it. Did you think he was on steroids when you fought him the first time? He goes, I don't care. He's like, that's in the past. He can be on him now. I'm still gonna win.
Okay.
And he said, I want to make sure. He's like, I know I can make John Jones bleed. Everybody thinks he's this like
God.
unbeatable fighter, and I'm going to show everybody that I can beat him. He looks confident as fuck. And I'm biased against John Jones, so when you hear this stuff from me, you're going to like get some type of
Oh well.
review about
We're
it.
feeling some kind of way about John Jones.
And so when they like faced off, John looked like he was angry at Gus. Gus looked like he was like just chilling. Reminded me of Darren Till. Like, you know how he just like gets up in people's faces, but
Yeah.
he's not like
He's not confronting her. He's just
not-
establishing his
right.
position and standing there.
right. He's like showing his like how big he is and
Yeah.
shit. And he's just as big as John. If anything, he's a little bit bigger.
Yep.
And then they face off for the cameras, and John just does like a dick move thing, trying to get in front of Gus. And so Gus gets in
Just
front of him.
scoots in front of him.
Yeah, and then John pushes Gus. And he looks
Oh,
fucking
shit.
angry, and then Gus is just laughing at him. And so I don't know. I hope Gus wins.
Obviously.
But there's still way more time for this to go. But as far as like the mental aspect of it, John looks emotional. But I don't know if that like John emotional is not necessarily a bad thing. He's emotional against DC.
He's
and-
still great.
yeah, like John's a cheater, but as far as the talent that he has,
Yeah.
it's literally second to none.
Yeah, it's true.
So, and then you have Cyborg versus Amanda, which is an interesting fight. When they straight up next to each other, Cyborg had a dress on and Amanda had like a big ass coat on, so it's like hard to tell. But
the size.
it wasn't like a huge discrepancy in size.
Okay, that's good.
So that's interesting.
That was pretty much my biggest worry is that Cyber is just gonna be too goddamn big.
And like Cyborg and her have a little beef because they were supposed to fight in September, but Amanda said no, she needs more time to train.
Sure.
So Cyborg was pissed at her because she wanted to fight sooner, and Amanda's like, no, I told the UFC I wanted 9 months to fight, and then Cyborg's like, you call me out, you're supposed to fight me whenever you're ready, like you're supposed to be ready, blah blah blah, and Amanda's like, no, I needed time because you're big.
True. Maybe she shouldn't have taken steroids.
I think Amanda is like the only fighter right now that could possibly beat Cyborg. So I feel
I agree with that.
I don't think she's going to, but
You don't think so?
I think it'll be one of the most competitive fights.
I hope so for sure.
It'll be similar to the Holly Holm fight, I feel, which was somewhat competitive. But it was competitive. It was like a 10-9 round pretty much every single time. But you could tell that Holly can contend with her. It wasn't like that bitch shouldn't have been in there with Cyborg. With every other fight that Cyborg's been in, like you can tell like these chicks should not be fighting Cyborg.
Yeah, for sure.
Like it looks like some domestic violence.
Like feeding
shit.
a sheep to a dragon or something like that.
Yeah. And then also I watched the weigh-ins for 230, which we already made the picks in the last episode. But I'm pretty confident with all my picks. Remember I told you the one I was most worried about was Israel versus Eric Brunson?
Yeah.
And they faced off and like Israel established his fucking reach right off rip. He did like one of those things where he pointed his fingers out right in front of him like this. And it's so long and lengthy. And it got to Brunson. He started running his mouth.
Really?
Yeah. And
how do you know that it was the length that got to him and he wasn't just like angry?
It's not necessarily just the length, but just putting your hand right in his face and shit.
Okay.
So, and Brunson was like, he flinched a couple of times, it looked like, and just little shit like that, like things like that. I could tell, like, I feel like you're nervous.
Interesting.
And I'm not. The whole point of this is, I think that Derek Brunson's emotional. And if he's emotional, he's gonna go in there trying to knock Israel out in the first round, and I think that's the worst thing he could possibly do with Israel, because Israel his stand up is really, really good, his footwork is excellent, and he's gonna be able to pick his shots at Brunson. So I'm confident with my pick with Israel now.
Yeah, that was one of the big points from that last episode, is that Brunson has this great wrestling foundation that could really help him secure a victory.
But he just never uses it because he's so used to fucking. He fell in love with the knockout.
He just wants to punch people in the face.
Yeah, I mean, I understand. You knock someone out. It's probably like the best feeling ever.
It's got to be like hitting the home run.
And then I was super curious to see DC versus Lewis.
Was it funny?
Off. No, it was intense.
I think I might have saw that when I saw Dana was really trying to hold Daniel back for some reason.
And Daniel was like, "No,
come on, man."
Yeah, I was kind of nervous at first. I'm like, how is DC gonna come out? But he came out exactly like how he normally comes out. He's like fucking smacking his hands. He's like, "Let's go!" I'm like, "Fuck yeah, DC, get all pumped up."
Do you think he's ever going back to 205 again?
Hell no. He weighed in more now than he's ever weighed in before.
Was it like 254?
251.
251.
And it's only like 6 pounds more than what he weighed in last time, so big fucking deal.
Right.
But he's solid. You can tell he is muscular as fuck. He got like a silverback gorilla back. Like his back's huge. You can just tell about he's strong. DC's strong as fuck. And top, like, he just fights better with all that fucking fat on him. He
true, I guess so.
He got knockout power. He's faster. He's not as diminished. And he seemed like he was ready. He got in Lewis's face, and Lewis was there too. Like, I don't think Lewis is intimidated at all. But Lewis did not look like how he looks against other heavyweights.
Normal people.
Not like people bigger. Like when he was with Ngannou, like he pushes him, or with what's his name that he just knocked out? I forget his name. That you can tell like Lewis, like the beast comes out of him. You know, like the fucking animal instinct type of shit.
Yeah,
it didn't come out against DC. So I'm also very confident in that as well.
Maybe he's just doing that because he knows where he is. This is he has said so many times he doesn't deserve to be number one, and all the other heavyweights should be ashamed that he's there, and he's facing against a champion.
DC talked about that too. He's like, Derek doesn't believe that.
He doesn't believe that? You don't think so?
He's won 9 out of his last 10.
Sure.
So, I mean, it's hard to deny it. He beat Ngannou. It wasn't a fucking...
He's complained about the last 2 at least.
He's complained about a lot of his performances because he has a high standard on his performances.
So do you think maybe that's just like... Is he trying to keep people from estimating his actual abilities and forcing them to underestimate him?
I just think he's brutally honest with himself. And he is who he is. He says whatever he thinks.
Because Cormier was also saying that he has a lot more stamina and athletic ability than he even lets on.
Yeah, he thinks that he has like the mental game, like because he grew up in the streets and that, so you can have like
the will.
No, just the will as well, but also just mind games inside of the octagon, like pretending that he's more hurt than he necessarily is, so people can blow their wad or they leave themselves susceptible to the big blow, shit like that, making mistakes on the ground. So, but DC's smart. DC knows exactly what he's doing.
For sure.
He's a champ. He is. When they interviewed him, he goes, "I'm the GOAT. My name's DC. Watch me walk off stage," and just walked away.
I love his attitude.
Yeah. He's a G, man. He's one of my heroes as well.
Interesting that they're all athletes. Are they all athletes?
No, there's some actors. Will Smith, he's one of my heroes.
Some actors.
Will Smith is fucking... That guy's another unbelievable...
He used to be my favorite actor. When he stopped being in good movies.
He's one of my favorite people in general.
Isn't he a Scientologist? What are you...
Hey, man.
Unprofessional motherfucker.
Podcast's supposed to be over.
Is it?
Maybe that's our calling.
Oh,
But
okay.
shout
Time's
out,
up.
for real, shout out to Will Smith. He's another extreme motivator. Like if you go on his Instagram, he has like you could say those stories,
Mm-hmm.
and he has certain ones about like self-discipline, relationships, responsibility, all of them. And I agree with everything that he says. Like there were certain ones like it may not be your fault something happened, but it's for damn sure your responsibility to not let that impact you.
Very true.
Or to find like a lesson learned from it. And then also things like, why are you so worried about, like when he was talking about like cliff diving as like a metaphor, it's like, why are you worried about cliff diving or skydiving a week before? Like it's not happening until that day. Why worry about it until then? There's no point.
Right. What are you giving yourself?
Yeah, all you're doing is providing unnecessary fear. And then also he's somebody who like motivated me to take risks and motivated me to like also lose weight, saying like, you can do anything that you set your mind to, like for real, Eminem style, lose yourself. You know what I mean? That's another motivator.
Okay.
I love all these guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Will Smith's a G. He's one of my favorites.
For sure. So make sure you guys keep that in mind
Pursuit of happiness.
throughout your little
Unbelievable
work
show.
week here. Yeah.
Yeah,
Stay resilient, folks. Keep Derrick Rose and Will Smith in your minds.
for real. Shout out Derrick Rose. Hopefully he fucking whoops Steph Curry's ass.
For sure. And fuck Klay Thompson, just cause.
Yeah. Fuck. If you guys enjoyed, make sure you rate this shit. Share this to whoever you fucking think's gonna like. All the cool shit that we talk about.
All the cool shit, yeah.
All the fucking cool shit. And see you guys later.
See ya.
Really? That's your see ya? You losing your voice?